Thank you, Steve. Time flies when you're having fun. Thanks to Steve and Michael Debates and everyone in our media relations department for putting this on. And thanks to Mike Burrows and his staff here at Cobblestone. Appreciate Casey and the guys from Backstreets for the gift cards and everyone that puts this event on. It's a team effort. Appreciate all of you. Appreciate all the former players that came out here today and played. It was great seeing so many of them, and led by Hall of Famer and four-time winner Sterling Sharp. Really fired up for you, and what an honor going into the NFL Hall of Fame. And I expect to, when I watch your induction speech, for you to reference this huge win here at the Birdies for Beamer this week as well, when everybody sees that also. Probably the highlight of the week, if I'm guessing. But congrats to you and everything that you stand for and what you've done for South Carolina athletics and this football program, man. Fired up for you as well. You made the joke last year that you win this thing so many times that we're going to rename this tournament with your name, which you're getting closer and closer to doing that, I think, with the way you guys are playing as well. Really happy to have former Gamecock great Alex English out here today as well. Really cool to see him playing in it, and grateful for Coach Palmineri, our head baseball coach, being here as well. And thank you. I know it was hot out there today in the tournament, but appreciate y'all getting out here and grinding and being a part of that. We do this for you and the opportunity to fellowship with you and get y'all out here and have some fun. So appreciate y'all being a part of it. I apologize that some of our coaches and myself were a little bit late getting out here. We were up in Greenville this morning for our state high school coaches Association clinic. Joe D. Camillus and Torian Gray spoke up there this morning. So myself and our 10 coaches were up there and literally came straight from Greenville here. So today was our day to speak, and that's been on the calendar for a while, so that's why we were a little bit late. But appreciate you understanding. Glad to get out here now with you as well. Steve mentioned it. We report Thursday. Finished up the summer last week with our workouts. Really happy about the way that's gone with Luke Day and his staff. We'll meet as a coaching staff tomorrow and kind of review the summer with him and where we are as a team going into camp. Gave our players the weekend off. They're off today, and then they'll report back tomorrow. Got a couple days of workouts in the weight room here on Tuesday and Wednesday before we officially report on Thursday, and then start practice on Friday morning. So really eager to get out there. Been long enough, and seems like forever ago that we last played a game. So can't wait to get back out there and get started with these guys. It's a fun group that's really been very purposeful and intentional about what they wanted to get done since they came back in January, and eager to crank things up. And then I guess it's 5 weeks from yesterday is when we'll be kicking this thing off in Atlanta. So really looking forward to that. And I had a couple phone calls today with some of the people there that are putting on that game, and would encourage all of our fans to continue to gobble up. I shouldn't have said that, Virginia Tech. Continue to buy all the remaining tickets that we have for that game. I know they're going fast, but we need to make sure that it is nothing but garnet and black and Mercedes-Benz that day. Obviously, Labor Day weekend, a lot going on, but no better way to spend it than a Sunday afternoon in Atlanta, watching us take on a really good Virginia Tech team as well. So we'll need all the Gamecock fans in Atlanta that day, and encourage people. I know a lot of people are already going that I've talked to, but really hope to see that place packed with garnet and black. I know I'll visit with you on Thursday at Media Day. I saw most of you in Atlanta recently as well, so you got a lot of questions out, so I won't talk much longer. Turn it over to you guys for any questions that you guys have, and what you don't get today, you can get on Thursday when I see you again. And then I know you're eager to visit with all of our coaches and staff that are here as well, and excited to visit with you also when I'm getting done. So giving it to David, kicking off the year.
Yeah, there's no other way to start.
All right, here we go.
Shane, not to sound like a broken record, but anything new on Faison?
No. I wish I had a different answer for you. He texted me earlier, and I called him back talking about Sewell, and I was on the phone with some people yesterday trying to get some things done from that standpoint, and got a lot of respect for Charlie Baker, who heads up the NCAA, and I'm confident that they will do the right thing when that time is.
Is legal action now becoming more of a possibility? Do you have to kind of look at that?
It's probably a better question for Sewell. I know you guys, I guess, will see him on Thursday, but right now our thought process is we're full speed ahead, planning on him being with us, and optimistic that the NCAA will make the right decision.
Jack.
Shane, Jeff Collins joining staff. What can you tell us about him, and just what's your excitement level to bring him aboard?
Yeah, really. You guys know me, and I was, telling Jay Phillips and Will outside that I'm not a guy that just hires people to hire people. I'll never want to be the head coach that has the biggest staff in the country. I'm not that guy. I want everybody to, if you bring somebody into our program, there's a reason you're bringing them in. And certainly with Jeff, there's a reason. He's a really talented coach. You look at his background in coaching, the places he's been, who he's worked with, the roles that he's had. Obviously, he's been a defensive coordinator. And in the SEC, he's been in the personnel world doing that at Alabama for Nick Saban back when they really cranked it up as well. So he's got that experience. He's been a head coach, and I think anytime you can have multiple head coaches on your staff, that's a great thing. And we have that with Sean Elliott and Mike Shula and Mike Furry as well, guys that have been head coaches that are on our staff now. But I think the biggest thing, Jack, too, is he's a great recruiter, coach, but there's the familiarity that he has with so many people on our staff and the familiarity that we have with him. He and I were graduate assistants together at Georgia Tech back in 2000 and shared an office together. This was back when you didn't have giant staffs of like analysts and quality control people. You basically had 2 GAs, and me and Jeff shared an office together back in 2000 and developed a good relationship and have kept in touch. But not just me, he and Clayton White worked together at Western Carolina. When he was the defensive coordinator at Florida, his defensive backs coach was Torian Gray. When he was the head coach at Georgia Tech, Trey Money, who works with our linebackers, was on that staff. Obviously, he and Derek Moore worked together at Georgia Tech. He and George Wynn worked together at Florida. I'm probably forgetting somebody, but there's people on our staff that know Jeff, and Jeff spent some time around our program. So he had other opportunities, but from a personal standpoint, professional standpoint, I think there were a lot of reasons he wanted to be here, and excited we were able to add him. But to answer your question, just his knowledge from a defensive standpoint. But I think anytime you can add experience in that room, and we got an amazing defensive staff already. Those guys have been together. They work well together. They're really knowledgeable. There's talented coaches in that room. But I think anytime you can just, add to not just the defensive staff, but the staff in general and make it better, you can. You do, and I think he will.
Going back to David's question, if Faison is not cleared before practice starts, will he be able to practice, or what will he be able to do?
That's my plan. He asked me the same question today, and I told him, yeah. So until somebody tells me otherwise, he's practicing.
Going back to what Jack asked about Coach Collins, can you share what he's going to be doing with y'all specifically, or is that sort of a work in progress at this point?
I'd say when you talk to Clayton, he could probably, talk more, but it's something that Jeff visited us, Hale, back in March, I guess, March or April. He came and spent a day or two during spring practice, and at that point he was kind of going around and visiting other college programs and NFL teams, and he wasn't really sure what was next. And it's something that he and I talked about along with Clayton kind of throughout the spring, and got a little bit more real as we got into the summertime. And it's things that we've been kicking around since the springtime. But certainly I think when you add another guy that has coordinated defenses, just the ideas that he can bring to that room to help Clayton and the rest of that staff, ideas that he can bring to me, as a former head coach as well, recruiting ideas. He's been around a lot of really good coaches and a lot of really good programs. But as far as the, day-to-day responsibilities and whatnot, it's we've got a plan, but it's also still a work in progress as we get going. He got to Columbia, I think, literally this afternoon, and is already at work.
Hey, Shane, a little off topic, but renovations coming to Williams-Brice after the season. A lot of it is fan-related things, suites, but Jeremiah Donati said in an interview that some of the things done are going to directly impact the student athletes. Wanted to know how involved you are in that. What are some things you want to see done that will directly affect your players?
Yeah, great question. I'm excited about the upcoming improvements and enhancements to Williams-Brice. It's something that we talked about with recruits a lot and was able to show pictures to them of and their families of what it's going to look like here when it's all said and done, which is it's already the greatest home field environment, in my opinion, in college football, and it's only going to be better when we're done with all of this. But, yeah, Jeremiah, Jeff Crane, we've had conversations, and I've been, involved with other, people in our athletic department as well, but specifically to football, there's things that we've talked about and preliminary ideas, blueprints of what it may look like. Certainly you guys have been around here long enough and know what the facilities are there. I mean, it's still the same training room, locker room, walkway to the field for the most part that it was, coach's locker room that it was when I was here, 18 years ago, 19 years ago, whatever it was. And there have been some enhancements, but just being able to – there's a lot of space down there underneath the stadium that I think we can reconfigure and make better, from a recruiting standpoint on game days, from a player standpoint on game days, for a lot of people that we can utilize that space better. And, yes, I've been in a lot of those conversations and excited to, get that project going.
Shane, I know it's probably been asked and answered before, but let me revisit. Playing your alma mater in the season opener, big game, national television, all that sort of thing. What are, give us kind of general of your feelings of playing them and, given your history with that program, not just as a alum, but a former coach, son of a former coach, all those sort of things. Is this ideal, or would you rather be playing somebody else? Or are you happy to be playing this game?
I'm happy to be playing a marquee opener. It makes it a little bit different, obviously, because it's where I grew up and, my dad's got a statue outside the stadium. That's a little bit different. But I love playing marquee openers where you jump right into it. And you look around college football week one, there's so many great matchups like that across the country. So I think it makes the summers for the players even more exciting, knowing what's coming, being able to go into Atlanta, play in the Falcon Stadium, and what'll be a great crowd. We're the only game on that afternoon. There's a lot of things that I'm excited about. Obviously, there's storylines. There's build-up with it being game one. Honestly, I'll be glad when it's over because I'll be tired. I'll be ready to be done answering those questions. But it's cool, too, though. But once, I started out at Georgia Tech as a graduate assistant. I've played Georgia Tech. I went to Mississippi or Tennessee next. I've played or coached against Tennessee. Then I went to Mississippi State. I've coached against Mississippi State. Then from there, I went to South Carolina. When I was at Georgia, I coached against South Carolina. And then I went to Virginia Tech, and I guess I haven't coached against Virginia Tech yet. And then there's Georgia, and then being back at South Carolina, coached against Georgia. So I've been back or coached against the places that I've been, but certainly it's a little bit different because you got so many ties there. But whether it's me or, Torian Gray played a hell of a lot more snaps on the field than I did. So it's his alma mater as well. But there's just the relationships. Obviously, my dad still lives in Blacksburg, and he sees those people all the time. We were up in Greenville this morning, and one of the Virginia Tech assistant coaches is Pearson Prelo, that's from South Carolina. That Pearson and I were freshmen together at Virginia Tech in 1995. So, Brent Pry, the head coach, when I was a freshman at Virginia Tech, he was the defensive graduate assistant. So, there's just a lot of ties and relationships. But at the end, it's a place that I've got, great memories of. Program and a team that I got a lot of respect for. It'll be a big challenge, certainly, and eager to compete. But once we kick it off, it'll be about the guys on the field for sure. But it was one of those that when I got hired, it was already on the schedule and seemed so far away. And now that it's here, it's pretty neat. But I'll be glad when it's over. Yeah. Yeah, he's given the politically correct answer of saying he wants both teams to play well. I called my parents on Saturday. I was driving back from the beach, and my son and I were in the car, and we called my parents, and he was telling me that same story, and it was kind of, hold on now, you can tell Brent that, but you're sitting with us, so you're not going to sit with my wife and where she is, just hoping both teams play well. There better be a little bit more allegiance to us than just hoping you see a good game.
Shane, how are you guys doing from an injury standpoint going into camp? Anything new or anything you could share?
Yeah, I think very well. The summertime was, productive, and for the most part, we did okay there. I'll have a better update for you on Thursday. We'll meet tomorrow as a staff and kind of review where everything is with, Clint Haggard, our head athletic trainer, who celebrated a birthday over the weekend. Happy birthday, Clint. And get an update then. But we're in decent shape. Not a lot has changed since I saw you guys at the end of the spring, but got a couple updates for you, and I'll be better prepared to talk about that on Thursday after we meet. Assuming you'll be there on Thursday. Okay, perfect then.
You've had such an edge with your special teams over the years, and like you said at SEC Media Days, you're starting over, like the first time in your career you've had all new people. But with the group you've got to work with, do you think you can rebuild that same edge that you've had during your time?
Yeah, absolutely. Something we spend a lot of time on, Phil and Joe DeCamillis and Tim McConnell do an awesome job with our special teams along with our entire staff that's involved. But I like the pieces we have. We've recruited the right guys there, we feel like. Need to be better in the return game than we were last year. And that starts, there's a lot of things, but you want to have capable returners, and it's something that we spend a lot of time on in spring practice and in the summertime as well. So eager to see us take a step there. And then, the personnel-wise, they're very, very capable, and they're just unproven in a lot of ways. They're talented kickers and punters and snappers and holders, but they're going to be doing it for real for the first time ever really in a game here in 5 weeks. So I've got to do a great job, and our coaches of putting them in situations to try and prepare them as best we can. We did a little bit of that in the spring game, if you'll remember, bringing them out there to the middle of the field and kind of having a competition. But I've got full confidence in them, and it's not just them, it's the people around them. But you're right, we've made a lot of game-changing plays on special teams in the last 4 seasons, and that's been an edge for us, and it will have to be again this year as well.
Way in the back, Noah.
Hey, Coach. Yesterday, Lenoris and Dylan and a couple players held like a meet and greet event, and Lenoris unveiled his own action figure, and I think he's the first college football player ever to have their own action figure. How involved are you guys in sort of unique NIL opportunities like that? And did you ever think you'd be coaching a player with his own action figure?
How involved am I in that? Very little as well, but no, excited. Never thought I'd be coaching an action figure, nor did Coach Shula, our offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach, probably. But happy for our guys that they can capitalize on their name, image, and likeness and do things like that. I saw Lenoris's quotes from that about the meaning behind that and being able to give back, and happy for him and the rest of our guys to be able to do that as well. But no, there's a lot of things that are brand new to college athletics that all of us as coaches are dealing with for the first time, and coaching players that have their own action figures certainly is one of them.
This might have been a request from Pat DeMarco, but what was your lowest round of the summer?
See, I get in trouble. There's another coach that's gotten in trouble in this league, and I saw Kirby on vacation. He asked if I was playing golf, and I said, yeah. He's like, whatever you do, don't post your score, man, as well. But I'm not going to get into specifics on that. Hale, Pat knows where to find me as well. But I hit it pretty good this summer. But that's the problem with my golf game is I played Friday, and I put the clubs up, and I won't touch them again until late January, early February. But I hit it okay. Not like Pat DeMarco, I will say that. He gets to play a lot more than I do.
Anything else for Coach? If not, we have the assistant coaches available, and have at 'em.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.